heart attack. Fast, fatal, heart impact. Past painful scars, in fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new submerged juice. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do continue, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, we had Bakugo and Izumi. These two have spent a year in the SCP world, and have hunted down an anomaly we have been calling the Sneaky Fox. It is a reality bender who is also a prankster, and they called in Dr. Bright and Dr. Gears to formulate a plan to take this thing down. And Dr. Bright's plan, playing constant pranks on it to piss it off, along with using a reality anchor to basically anchor its powers so it doesn't do anything, they were able to trick it and capture it using elaborate pranks. Now, the two, they also were somewhat talking about it. They were talking about the kiss they shared. I mean, it felt right. And the two, they don't want to just abandon that. They want to have a proper moment. And right now, they know that because their assignment is over here, they're going to be going back into containment, or back to a Foundation site. And the two, yeah, they want to try and make a request to go somewhere more extravagant, somewhere where they can have a proper date and spend some time together. Since, well, they're not going to be in this world for much longer. So, there shouldn't really be any problem with approving this request. Now, we actually do have over with Izuku and Bakugo. The two have spent 5 years in their village, and they have become people here. They have become just another home and another place and another family. The two, they're happy. And, well, their life, it's been good. And we do actually have about a year later, where Deku, he is laying down by the fire. And he actually is thinking about a lot. There's been so much going on. The time that's passed, the days that go by, counting them down. I mean, he used to count the days, but eventually that just became repetitive. It felt like time would just pass slower. The minutes would go by slower, the seconds would go by slower. Hell, even just the milliseconds, they'd go slower. The more he counted, the more he became aware of how long he'd be here. He did the math. It's not fun to know how many days he'll be here. But there's something better. Now he doesn't have to worry. The days can be easier. The nights, they can be less restless. I mean, he doesn't have somebody who's going to try and murder him by a campfire. He has a proper roof over his head. He doesn't have to worry about the creatures of the night. And he doesn't have to worry about Bakugo, since she's right here with him. Deku actually holding on to Bakugo, as the two, they're just cuddling up by the fire. And Deku, he does want to fall back asleep. The dreams, they feel odd. But reality, here, in real life, it feels so amazing. What? He called himself an angry god? A sadist? What exactly did he say that day? Deku, he called him something. And this is his punishment? I mean, life is good here. And that's what does worry him a bit. He feels like this could be ripped away at a moment's notice. He knows it can. And he's somewhat terrified of that. But he holds on to it. And their actions with Bakugo, she is going to open her eyes. and gonna bring her hand up onto Deku's face, ask him if he's okay. Huh? Yeah, I'm fine. Just had a little bit of trouble sleeping. How can you have trouble sleeping? I mean, this blanket feels like a sauna. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really have a problem with the blanket. Really? So what is the problem then? Uh, I'll keep that to myself. Are you sure? Are you having those strange visions again? I... No, I haven't. But you haven't seen him. No, I haven't. Not the way you described it. I mean, there was the guy in the black suit, but not a red one. Shit. Okay. That's what I thought. Well, it does worry me then. Does it? Yeah. I don't know what that might be. If it comes here, it's going to come for us. How can you be so sure? It's just a feeling. I don't know how to explain it. I've been feeling people watching us. I've been feeling eyes on us. And lately, some have been feeling a bit more malicious. Yeah, I know. But there there's nothing we can do about that. We know that somebody's already watching us. The other versions of you are. Yeah, I know. But doesn't mean just because he's watching us doesn't mean something else isn't. So I get what you're talking about. But right now, we're fine. If they wanted to do something, they would do it already. Wouldn't they? Yeah, but maybe they can't. Well, what do you mean? Maybe they're not allowed here. Is that really what you're thinking? That's all I've got. Now, Deku and Bakugo, they will continue talking. And there actually is where somebody does come pounding at their door. And Deku, he actually is going to somewhat stop. Him going to jump out of his blanket and going to put on some clothes. Him getting properly dressed and walking over. Whenever he does, so he does crack the door open and look outside to see a man staying there in some heavy clothes. Him asking Mr. Midoriya to please follow him. Hello? John? It's me. Listen, we got a problem. Deku opening the door and stepping outside, closing it behind him and allowing Bakugo a moment to, well, get dressed, and asking Dr. John exactly what's going on. And the man would start talking, expressing to Izuku. Some of the locals on this land, the native inhabitants, they're having problems. They're talking about a creature, one that they may have angered. And Deku is confused, and the man continued to talk. The locals have noticed some of their livestock has been going missing, and whenever they locked up their livestock, a child went missing. So, they're worried. Are you serious? Yes. Listen, the abductions, they happened just over there on that hill. About a day's ride. Are you serious? Yes. Listen, we have a bit of a treaty with them. The natives, they've given us this land, and we follow their laws, their rules. And someone must have angered a spirit, a creature, even. I don't know what it is, but clearly it's angry at something. And, well, someone was able to injure it. So it bleeds. I see. So, you need help killing it. Yes. And you're the most skilled hunter we have. I've told them about it. I mean, I've told many of them about you, your feats, and who you are. A lot of men have trouble believing you, or believing in you. However, many others, they think I've made you up. A tall tale. I see. So, give me a minute, alright? Let me talk to my wife. Right, right. Um, I'll get going then. Now, Deku is gonna walk back inside. Whenever he does so, he actually sees Bakugo. Her actually slipping on a shirt and pulling it over her stomach. As Deku, he does get a somewhat smile, asking her if she plans to head out with him. "Hmm, where are you going?" Um, I'm going out for a hunt. A native village was attacked. Livestock's missing and so is a kid. Oh god. How bad is it? I don't know yet. I'm gonna go and solve it. I'd say you should come with me, but I don't know. If things get bad here, then I'll be needed. Take the arrows and take the rifle. I still have mine. And besides, I know traveling that way is gonna be difficult, so the less people, the better. Right, right. But listen, that doesn't mean I don't want you to come with me. No, Izuku, it's fine, it's fine. I understand. Now, they were gonna walk over and pull Bakugo into a hug. Him bringing his hand up and over her back. Him brushing his hand against her long hair. And telling her that he'll be back soon. And he won't leave her behind. Izuku, you talk like you're gonna die. We both know that's not possible. Besides, he said 30 years. I'm guessing he's, well, making us work for it now. I see. Well, come back safe. I will. I will. Now, Deku, he has to turn around and grab his stuff before leaving. And Bakugo, she doesn't just gonna sit there. Before walking back over towards the fire and heating her hands back up. Before going to sort of lay down and thinking about what is going to be happening. The last couple months have been amazing. The last year has been amazing. Everything that's been happening to their lives lately, it's been good. And, well, why not have a little bit more good in the world? That's what Baku is thinking, as she is actually laying down right now. And we do actually have Deku and the doctor, who, they do pack up some gear and head out to the village with two other men. And right now there actually is Deku, who, he is just sitting there, and he is waiting, as they reach the village just before nightfall, since they did have to pack a little bit more double time, and they left very early in the morning. They did take a break. However, that was really only just them walking, not having the horses go at full speed as fast as they can. Now, they made it there, and the men standing around, they all did see Izuku and the men. They saw the first two men and thought one of them might be their hunter, the one they have heard the tale about. However, there wasn't for Deku he stepped out. Deku, he looked different. There was a strange aura around him. And then the way he presents himself, the way he stands, the way he just is there. His presence alone with his look. The large wolf pelt on his head, just sitting there. And then, well, yeah. They immediately knew it was him. This tall tale about the wolf man was not a tale. It was true. And many men, they do see Izuku. Some do have the idea to challenge him, see if he is a honorable warrior. And it does pique their curiosity. As whenever Deku does walk over, with John and the other two men, they do introduce themselves. And whenever it does get to Izuku he does go reach his hand up and hold it out to a man. The man looking directly at Izuku before looking at his hand, and seeing a scar run across Deku's forearm. And it does somewhat pique their curiosity. They can tell that that cut was made with a knife. So, this man clearly has had a few run-ins with humans in his life. So, he clearly is a little bit more dangerous. He's an outlaw. That means what the man immediately does know, shaking Izuku's hand, since he's a man who tries to make his life in the forest, and he's a man who has survived. So that means he follows their rules. That is what the man is thinking. And Deku, him and the men do all sit down for right now, along with some other very powerful warriors. Now, they do all hear about what is going on, and it does sound particularly strange. Deku and the men, they stay here for the night, and whenever it does come time for their village to be attacked, or have this strange creature come, it happens. Deku and a few other men, they are on watch, and everybody else, they are sleeping. And Deku, he's waiting. He's waiting by a fire, and the snow outside, it is blistering cold as death. So, what type of creature will they be facing? Deku knows he has seen many strange things. So what will this one be? Another wolf, perhaps? Or no? Will it be something else? Will it be a creature he doesn't know about? Or is it one of those angels Bakugo talks about? Now, that does somewhat confuse Deku. These people, they talked about this entity, this thing, but they didn't give a description of it. So that means they don't know when it happened. And Deku, he actually is going to stand up. Something about this doesn't feel right. And the moment Deku is going to stand up, he does going to hear something tap against the window. And Deku, he does listen for it. Tap, tap, tap. And Deku, he doesn't even bother trying to turn his head. Nobody is outside. They have given a code to anybody at the door. The person has to say it a certain way. If they don't say the code, they are not allowed in. They wouldn't try to tap on the window to get your attention, since that wasn't something they thought of. Now, it does somewhat confuse Deku. And Deku, he does gotta look down towards the ground before walking down the hall. And going to knock on a door. Whenever he does so, he does gonna say something else. Whenever he does get no response, he does gonna open the door. The moment he does, there actually is the blistering cold, which he feels hit him directly in the face. And he does see something standing there. It looks, well, hunched over and made of the night. He hears it low and grumbling into a growl. It's in the room. And the men, the fresh smell of hot blood, the scent of iron. He knows it. Now, Deku, he immediately reaches down towards his waist, grabbing his gun and grabbing his knife. And whenever he does go start firing shots on this thing, they do ring out loudly. And a few people, they do wake up in the village. And there actually is where Deku, he does put all 6 shots directly into the creature as it does go to scurry out behind and through the window. However, whenever Deku, he does fire the shots, somebody does come running up behind him to see what he's doing. And Deku, he immediately does get a turn and run for the door. The man watching, as the window it's broken, and the two men they're lying there dead. Deku, he runs to the door and goes to grab his bow and arrow. Him going to grab a quiver and run outside, as there actually are a few men. A few men are grabbing their weapons. Knives, what? Spears and bows and arrows, along with even some weapons they have been given, and some they have gotten from intruders, you could say. Now, the ammo is quite scarce, so they need to use it sparingly if they see this entity. And there actually is Deku. A few people do see Deku. Right now, he is actually following the prince in the snow, and he's bolting as fast as he can in that direction. And the actions where Amanda's going to try and run to catch up to Deku. However, Deku, he's running at breakneck speeds. I mean, hell, he seems to be just flying, but he's not. And Deku, he's doing his best. He's trying to trudge through the snow. He's trying to move fast. And he actually is going to somewhat throw himself down onto one knee, grab an arrow, and going to draw back the bow. Him practicing the movement thousands of times, hunting. And whenever he does going to see the entity bolting through the snow, he does going to aim upwards and to the right, firing off as the arrow does go flying through the air and its tip does stab directly down into the creature. It's letting out a loud, bellowing scream. The creature it actually is going to turn and look directly towards Deku. Before, Deku he does just stand there, going to bring up his rifle and directly going to chamber around. Him aiming down the sights before firing a bullet through the air. When the bullet does whiz through the air, before this creature does going to turn its head and move itself out of the way, as the bullet does go flying right straight past it. And a few of the people here, they do try to attempt to fight this thing. Some using arrows with specialized tips, and some trying to just fucking shoot it. Now, this creature of the night, it actually is a bit annoyed. However, whenever a large crowd of people start firing at it, it does decide to avert its attention away from its first target, which was Izuku. Now, the people, they try to fight this thing, and they need to take it down. However, that's going to be an issue. Since the creature, yeah, all this commotion, the gunfire, and the loud sound at night, it does act as a bit of a dinner bell. And a few other creatures, they are going to be coming here real soon. So, they need to return back to the village and barricade their houses and stay inside. Because otherwise, things are not going to be good for them. And the people who are firing at this creature and trying to attack it, they are actually putting up a very decent fight. At certain times, the creature acts like it's going to retreat. At others, it just throws up a large, handful of snow and tosses it at people. Some, they're distracted by it, and some they do try to get out of the way. However, there actually is whenever the creature does actually start to chuck rocks. And that became a bit more surprising. Especially because it became a bit of a gamble. That large patch of snow it just picked up and tossed at you, you don't know if there's a boulder inside. And, getting hit by it and it being snow, that's what you would prefer. Instead, a man who was firing a bow and arrow, he looked to his right to see his best friend. And he was hit by a patch of snow. Him brushing it off before his friend, he actually did turn to see, was laying dead behind him. And it was scary. Now, whenever the creatures of the night do start to come out, their actions with this large one does go to retreat. And Deku, he does watch that. As whenever he does go to back away and basically at least provide cover fire with his rifle, a few people do try to do the same thing. And everybody, they would barricade themselves inside and keep their lights on. And the creatures, they are forced to stay away. Some are persistent in trying to get inside. However, the ones that would get inside, they're either gunned down or are able to tear some people apart. And Deku, he's lucky, at least for right now, since this creature, it clearly has an eye on him now. And Deku, he's not too sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, especially because of its nature and what the locals have been calling it. And with that, we'll actually cut over to Bakugo and Izumi. These two, they actually have been having a bit more of a lovely time. They've gone on a proper date, and they've had a proper moment. And that was almost 2 years ago. The two are happy. I mean, Bakugo, he's thought about a relationship with Izumi for a long time. And Izumi, well, it hasn't really popped up into her head a lot about it. The idea has been there. And the two, they actually are very happy. And we do actually have a member of the O5 Council who does stand before the two. If they're correct, today is the day these two will be vanishing. And the threat anomaly, or threat entity, will be leaving their reality. The two have been classified as anomalies. The entity has been classified as an anomaly. And their names and deeds to the Foundation will not be forgotten. As the O5 Council member, does actually going to somewhat salute them. And the two, they are sitting there. And they do go to salute the person in front of them. And wait. As 3, 2, 1. Bloop. Boop. Or more accurately, just pop. They're gone. Now, the members of the O5 Council, they are actually very intrigued to see that. They had the time down to the very second. So, they're scientists. They are able to piece together a few things from that anomaly. That is good. But it also does bring up more things. The decay effect. If that's how they could properly classify it. I mean, whenever the strange matter around them ceased to, well, be picked up, they were gone. It's like they were just kicked out. It's odd. So, whatever that is, whatever might be surrounding them, it's clearly got something to do with it. And we actually will pick up with these two, or more accurately, Bakugo, who right now he does wake up in a hospital. Him jumping upwards and looking around. He's okay. Alright, this is not good. Now, Bakugo, he does look around. Before he does go to walk over to the window and look outside. His legs feel weak, but there's clearly something off. Down below, there's... What is that? Okay, so there's someone outside. Thank God he can talk to them. Bakugo walking out of the room, and the moment he does so, he's going to turn his head. And there is actually where a man is standing there with a rifle. And he does look directly at Bakugo. Before his face is going to turn into somewhat horror. The man holding up the weapon and telling Bakugo to get down onto his knees. As Bakugo, he does just bring his hands up. Before going to bend his leg and get down. And the man, he does ask Bakugo if he's been bitten. What the hell are you talking about? Listen, I just woke up. Bullshit! No one's been in this hospital for months. Okay. Listen. Just, can I get back on my feet? I haven't been on them in I don't know how long. There's someone outside. Okay. Shh. Now, the man, he does go to somewhat turn his attention. At first, he was scared of Bakugo. He thought that he might have been one of them, but he's not. And the people outside, he can't afford to shoot them because it will cost him his life. Now, Bakugo, he's concerned. especially because the way this man was acting in the span of that 1 minute. The guy looked like he was about to, well, be angry, be scared, and, well, be violent. Shoot Bakugo and put him down. However, whenever he mentioned the man outside, he went from that to being scared and looking like he's gonna piss his pants. I mean, clearly whatever is out there, it doesn't seem good. And the guy, he actually just walk over to Bakugo and tell him to stay silent because what's out there is worse than what's in here. Okay, okay. Listen. Where am I? Where are you? Okay. Do you know who you are? Bakugo Katsuki. Okay, good. Listen, him grabbing onto Bakugo's arm, pulling it up and seeing the medical wristband, as there is the patient's name, Bakugo Katsuki. Okay, so, shit, he really did miss a lot. What's the last thing you remember? I don't know. So you have amnesia. I guess? Listen, what is going on out there? Okay, okay. Those things out there, they will kill us if they hear us. And they will eat us if they see us. That's all you need to know. So stay quiet and stay alert. If you can, distract them. Throw something at as far away as you can and book it. Okay? If one sees you, freeze in place. They don't see you then. How does that work? I don't know. I'm just glad it does. Alright? Yeah, I got it. Right. Okay. Let's go. Yeah. The man does leave Bakugo away. And there actually is Izumi. Izumi, she does gonna sit there. She doesn't know where she is. However, she's at home. That she knows that much, but she's a bit worried. She tried to open her door earlier, leave her bedroom, but the sound on the other side of it seemed to be terrifying. It seemed to be aggressive. It seemed to be just malicious. And the blood underneath her door, it doesn't help her. Because if she herself, if she's correct, is the right age, she still lives at home with her parents. And her father is lying dead on the other side of this door, along with her mother. And that is not something she really does want to see. So, she's stuck here for right now, at least until whatever is outside decides to go away. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.